I just got the call that my new grips for the Indian Scout Bobber are in down at Cycle Gear. I want to go get them so we can put them on. It's fast lane. Hey guys, welcome to Fast Lane. I got new grips for the Indian Scout Bobber, and we're going to go over and get them. We're going to drive across town to Springfield. And I got to say, man, I haven't made a video in a while. I've done a couple shorts, which is basically like editing a couple of mine. I've just been super duper busy, and I haven't had anything to make a video about. So honestly, I'm not going to just give you guys crap, you know? So I think this will be interesting. I'm going to show you how to install grips install on your Indian Scout Bobber. Let's go ahead and get out of here and get over to Springfield and pick up our grips from Cycle Gear. All right, so we're here. Let's go get my grips. Mission accomplished. Let's go put them on. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started with the grip swap on the old Indian Scout Bobber, which I have here, as you can see, in the Thunder Black Smoke. It's absolutely a beautiful bike. Let me give you a minute here. Yeah, I love this bike. But the grips I'm running right now are the Roland Sands FTR Collab grips. And these came out a couple years ago with Roland Sands, and they are meant for the FTR. But I realized that they were in the right size. They've already got the cutouts for the bar end mirrors. So, hey, I ordered a pair to see if they'd work, and by golly, they did. And they've been great little grips. But as with a lot of rubber grips, or any rubber grips actually, they get worn out, you know? And one of the things I like about rubber grips is they're cheap to swap, you know? So these ones were like about, I think, 60 bucks. They weren't very cheap, but you can get a lot cheaper options. And yeah, that's exactly what I did. So behold, Biltwell. Biltwell makes all kinds of motorcycle products, as you know, helmets, backpacks, grips, and all kinds of cool stuff. But I like Biltwell's products, and I've used them before on the old Honda Rebel I had. And so I was like, hey, I'm going to get some Biltwell grips for the Indian Scout Bobber and run those this time. So these are the Kung Fu grips, and they're just a rubber grip in black, of course. They come in a variety of colors. I love how many colors some of their grips come in. They have some really cool grips. Check them out. Go to Biltwell's website. You'll see. But these grips are going to be really cool, I think. They don't have a cutout for a bar end mirror, so we're going to have to make a little slice in it to make sure that fits. But I want you to notice something here. See that number right there? Yeah, 7/8. When you get grips for your Indian Scout or your Scout Bobber, these bars, they look like they're a 1-inch bar, but they're not. They taper down to a 7/8. So make sure when you buy grips that you buy them for a 7/8. Okay, so you're going to need a couple tools to do the job. We got to get these mirrors off. We got to get the grips off. And then we got to reinstall everything, you know, get the grips back on. So what do we need? Behold, the socket wrench. Yeah, you want to get yourself a socket wrench with an Allen socket. This makes your life a whole lot easier than just using normal old sockets. That is a 6mm. It's going to go right here and help you get those bar end mirrors off. So you want to get a 6mm. You can buy a whole set of these at like Harbor Freight for like $5. Don't be cheap. Buy yourself a set of these. Next thing you're gonna need is a knife to get the grips off. So I just cut my grips off. I want you to be really careful when you do it, of course, and make sure you got a fresh blade, which I already installed in that, so it's really, really sharp. And last but not least, you're gonna need something to help you slide those grips on. Now, I've muscled them on before. I truly have, and it's not a lot of fun. I like to use hairspray. You can just kind of wet it down, it evaporates, and then it kind of creates a sticky. Some people like to use, adhesive. Some people use WD-40. Use whatever it is you like or what somebody that knows a lot more than me recommends. I'm going to use hairspray. And of course, you need the grips. Let's get started. All right, first thing you're going to do, you're going to take your 6mm here. You're going to undo these bar end mirrors. Yep. If I could encourage you anytime you're working on your bike, especially if you have a bike that you love and that you really are fond of, just slow down and take your time with what you do. You don't want to lose pieces. You also don't want to bang something up or scratch your tank. You want to keep everything nice, so make sure you keep everything together. Sit that off to the side. All right, we're going to go on to the other side. So we're going to do the same thing over here on the throttle side. We're just going to take that bar end mirror off. Okay, keep it all together, set it off to the side. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the grip off. Now when you do this, I want you to be extra careful. I do want you to have a sharp blade, but I want you to approach the grips. Now some people muscle them off. Some people just pull and try to get that sucker off. Yeah, dude, I'm cutting them off, okay? What I want you to do is when you cut off your grips, don't dig in so you hit the metal, okay? You don't want to hit metal with a blade because it'll rust under there, okay? Water will get under there, you'll start getting rust. It's just not good for your bike. You know, I don't want rust dripping out of my grip area. And then on the throttle side, you gotta be extra careful because there is a plastic throttle tube over here that you don't wanna destroy or damage, okay? So we're gonna take our time, we're gonna be really, really careful. You don't wanna bang or scratch any of this stuff up. We're just gonna cut this, and we're gonna cut it not straight in, but kind of at an angle on the rubber, okay? So we're just gonna take our time with it, all right? Also, when you're cutting towards yourself, don't put a lot of pressure. You're supposed to cut away from yourself. Simple as pie. Let's go over to the other side. Alrighty, same thing right over here. Now I've seen some other videos where people took all the housings and stuff off to do this. It's not necessary. Not if you're putting like grips that aren't going to go over this lip that's on the throttle side. Ours are just going to go up to this lip, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. But yeah, you don't got to take these assemblies all the way off at all. All right, next thing is to unpackage your grips. There's something I want you to notice here. If you look at the holes on these, I don't know if you can see that on TV. It doesn't really show very well, but or on your phone or whatever you're on, your computer. There is one side that has a bigger hole than the other, okay? So one of them is exactly 7/8, and I'm not sure what the other size is, closer to 1 inch. The bigger one goes on the throttle side. Make sure you start with the small one for this side. All right, so you're gonna notice that your Biltwell grips do not have a bar end mirror opening. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut right on the end here. You know, you kind of wanna look and see how big you think it ought to kind of be, just so we can fit that bar end mirror through there. And here's what we basically want. We want that to essentially be able to go in like that, okay? All right. Hey guys, so there is one last thing that I sort of forgot to tell you. It is when you are making the cutout on your grip for the throttle side, make sure there's plenty of clearance where this mirror is not hitting it at all. The little input of the mirror here, you don't want that to hit. You want to make sure, and here's a good test, just wriggle your throttle like that. Make sure it snaps back. If it does, you're good to go. You don't want your throttle sticking is what I'm trying to say. Make sure you have plenty of clearance there so your throttle's not going to be sticking on you, all right? Let's put our hairspray on. Let's get our first grip on the bike. Easy as pie. Let's go over to the other side. Alrighty, same thing over here. I've got the grip, and this is the one with the bigger hole like I talked about. And I'm just gonna spray a little spray and get her on there. I should have put a little bit more spray on this one. Don't make the same mistake I did. All right, man, so easy. Last thing to do is just literally put the mirrors back on. Let's go over to the other side. All right, guys, so that is essentially how you change the grips on your Indian Scout. It's really easy. Anybody can do this. All you got to do is just take your time, be careful. You don't want to damage your bike. Like I said, you don't want to mess up this throttle tube. You also don't want a razor into your handlebar, so you don't want rust. You can do this job. It's super easy to do. Yeah, it's fun. It's cool to be able to change your grips. Cool, man. I think these look freaking sweet. Biltwell Kung Fu grips for the Indian Scout bobber. I love them. They're comfy. I can't wait to get out and ride with these babies. They just feel cozy on your hands, and they look cool too. Hey, I really want to thank you guys for staying to the end of the video. I appreciate you watching the channel. If you like what you see here, I'd invite you to subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, a like, and share it with somebody. Let somebody know, and get yourself some new grips. It's Fastlane.